everybody, welcome back to FanFic Breakdown. I'm your host, legit ElizabethWWEFan, and this is the channel where Smash King24 and myself review fanfics from different fandoms in the Nintendo franchise. We're talking Smash Bros, Fire Emblem, you name it, we do it. Now, I'm sure you can tell by now that this week's video is a little bit different. Smash is not here today, and that is because I will be reviewing one of his fanfics. He thinks I'm going to be reviewing Hit Me Cupid. Well, sorry buddy, but you have no idea how wrong you are, because I'm going to be reviewing, and this is true, It Came from Lucina's Head. Yes, I am reviewing the best, the greatest fanfic that could ever exist in the Super Smash Bros. Fandom. It Came from Lucina's Head by Smash King24. And the reason I'm doing this is because Smash reviewed one of my stories, and I wanted to return the favor, but I thought, well, I'm not just going to review any Smash King24 fanfic. I'm going to review his best work yet. So, with that all being said, I'm going to tell you that It Came from Lucina's Head is 35 chapters long, and it's over 183,000 words, so it's definitely not a short story by any stretch of the imagination. It's quite long. It was released back in September of 2014 when Smash was just gaining steam, and by Smash I mean Smash 4, not Smash King24. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And this fanfic was completed in April of last year. So this fanfic is kind of on the old side, but it's amazing. It's not perfect, but that's okay, because nothing is perfect. So we're going to get into the plot, the characters, the setting, the theme, and then I will just give you guys my overall thoughts and opinions on the story. So without further ado, let's get started. So number one, the plot. So the plot of this fanfic is actually pretty cool and pretty unique in my opinion. It says, and this is quoting straight from fanfiction.net, after staying up late one night to watch a scary movie, Lucina finds herself having recurring nightmares about a deranged maniac trying to murder her in her sleep. Every morning she's waking up with cuts on her body, but her friends fear that she might be doing it to herself.
Holy shit!
Ooh. Needless to say, it's definitely a hell of a ride, and it's definitely not a story to be fucking with. Now, basically, this story has a lot of different elements in terms of the plot. There are action scenes, there are romance, there's real life interactions. I know it seems weird, but bear with me. It's very, very good in terms of collecting on different kinds of story elements. The action scenes, which again I'm not going to get into too much detail because I want to try and keep out as many big spoilers as possible. But the action scenes are so well described, but they don't feel technical. There's not like too many technical terms to make it hard for the average reader to understand. The romance it's pretty natural. It develops kind of not as much as you might expect. It's not really a romance story. It's an action adventure with a romantic subplot. That's how I would describe it. It's a love triangle, but not like a girl can't decide which two guys to be with. It's more like two guys are competing against a girl for her affection, and she kind of doesn't really know what the hell's going on. And by she, I mean Lucina, and by the guys, of course, I mean Captain Falcon and Male Robin. So the love triangle, to me, it was interesting. And I say that in a good and a bad way. It was good. It had a good pace. It made sense, and I liked how it went. But I felt like the end of it, which I won't reveal for sake of spoilers, I feel like it was almost anticlimactic. It just felt like, oh, well, you went this way, but it just ended abruptly, if you will. And also, I feel like, and Smash has talked about this to me, it didn't end, I think it ended more the way the readers wanted it to, rather than what the author wanted. And that's always not a good thing. Like, I know you want to make your readers happy, but to me, like, I'm gonna write something the way I want it to because that's what I want. I'm not gonna just pander to what my readers want unless I want it. Like, if I like it and my readers like it, then that's awesome. But if my readers want something that I clearly do not like, then I'm sorry, but I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm sorry. So that's what kind of bothered me about the love triangle. But that being said, I found it didn't detract too much from the main plot story, which is Lucina dealing with nightmares that she's having to cope with. It had a solid resolution, even if it was rather anticlimactic, but overall, the love triangle was still very good, and I enjoyed reading it. I liked who the pairing was at the end, but even if I didn't agree with it for the writer, I know that makes it sound weird, but it's true. One other thing I didn't care for about the plot was the dream tap thing. If you don't know what that is, you have to read the story. I won't go too far into it, but basically, to oversimplify it, the dream tap subplot was basically the characters thought that this would be the be-all end-all thing to help Lucina, to fix Lucina's problem. But to me, it just seemed like it didn't need to be there. It didn't need inclusion in the story. Like, I think the story would have been just as good without a subplot about the dreams tap. So, and also it seemed very long and unnecessary, so it kind of had me just going, okay, I'm just gonna scroll past this shit. So I apologize if that offends anybody, but I just thought the dream tap subplot, while interesting-ish, it just wasn't as good as I thought. Like, it was definitely the story's weakest point, but it was still good and well written. So number 2, we have characters. Now, the main characters, as I mentioned before, are Lucina, as the title suggests too, Captain Falcon, Male Robin, and Ike, sorta. So basically, the characterization of these 4 characters is so well done. Especially Lucina. Lucina is one of my favorite characters to begin with, so I'm a little biased. Sorry. But I found with Lucina that her character, not just her characterization, but her character development and how she started in the story did by its end was just so well thought out and so well done. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. I really did. I really thought it was well done. And it just, oh man, I loved it. I really, really loved it. Captain Falcon was good. Also Male Robin and Ike. I feel like Captain Falcon, the reason I'm kind of pointing him out is because it felt a tiny bit OOC or out of character. And I'll admit I haven't played F-Zero at all, so maybe I'm wrong, and if I am wrong, I apologize. But I feel like his characterization was a tiny bit off and almost cliche, maybe. But again, I'm not too educated on Captain Falcon, so I might be wrong, and I might just be a fucking idiot, in my opinion. But I still thoroughly enjoyed him. I thought he was hilarious, and when he wasn't being funny or brash, his soft side and his caring side definitely was well done, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ike was really good as well, and Male Robin, they were very true to their characters in their game. I haven't played Ike's games at all, but I played Awakening, and I freaking love it. So I'm educated on Lucina and Male Robin. I thought they were both well done, especially Lucina, as I mentioned earlier, but I won't get back into that. Also with the characters, one thing that I loved was that all the characters in the main roster of Smash 4 were included some way, somehow in the story. Now, if you're looking for your favorite DLC characters, they're not going to be in it. I'm sorry, but this was written before any DLC characters were revealed, and therefore they're not going to be included. If that bothers you, then don't read it. But honestly, it's so amazing how Smash King managed to incorporate every single main roster character, whether it was a big role or a supporting role or a small little cameo. He just really thought about it, and it really shows that he really cares about it. For example, like Shulk's appearance in the story was really good. Like, I thought his use, like, because if for those of you who don't follow Xenoblade Chronicles, Shulk has visions, and those visions were applied to in the story, and I found that it was not only good, but even helpful to the plot, and it really helped the plot move along in a timely manner. I just thought it was very well done. And another character that I really liked appearing was Rob, you know, the robot. His appearance to me was very unique. He doesn't appear a lot in stories because he's not a human character, and I think everybody, including myself, just goes for the human characters, which makes sense. They're easier to write as opposed to a robot. But his appearance was very unique. It was very well done, and I won't, again, without spoiling it, it really, by the end of it, it really made sense as to how he became the character he was, if that makes any sense. And overall, he was just very well written. Or is Rob it? Is it it or Rob? I don't know. Or it and he. I don't know. You can comment below your opinion on that. So, for characters, yeah, characterization on everybody was really well done. Again, Falcon was a little bit of a different story, but not even bad. Just like, oh, I don't really know what to make of this. So, moving on, we have number 3, the setting. Now, the setting does take place in the typical Smash Mansion, which I'd use it too, so I'm not going to rip on it too much. But another place it occurs is Lucina's mind, because all these dreams are happening in her imagination to a point. And how Smash writes out her nightmares without going into detail, they're so well done. Like, her mind, because it's someone's mind, you really don't have any boundaries. You can literally write anything, and it's just so imaginative. Smash does not pull any freaking punches here. He just does it. He just writes whatever he thinks is going to work with the story, and it shows that he just pushes the boundaries. Dream after dream after dream, he just goes for the jugular every time, and you would think that would be bad, but it actually worked so well. I was so impressed. Like, I loved the dream sequences. They really were my favorite part, just because just seeing what kind of hell Lucina was going to have to endure was fun. Sorry, Lucina. But yeah, the setting was well done. And moving on to setting, I loved how Smash would set up the scene. Setting the scene is something that can be kind of difficult, especially like someone like myself. I hate setting the scene. But Smash did such a good job of it that I really thought that he just freaking nailed it. Like, it was just, I could easily picture any scene he set, whether it was in Lucina's mind, in the Smash Mansion, or in a fight scene. It was just so well done and so crystal clear in my head that it was exactly what I wanted it to be. Like, I could picture it in my head when I closed my eyes. It was just amazing. And finally, number 4, the theme. So the theme, I thought, of the story was someone having to face their fears. So Lucina has to face the fears of what's in her nightmares, and moving on to that, also, like, the unknown, because nightmares, you're not, like, while you know what you're dealing with, you're not totally sure. And not only that, but another theme was relying on others, because Lucina realizes she can't fight her issues alone. She has to get help from her friends, like Captain Falcon, Male Robin, Ike, and then of course Shulk. Some of the villains even help her because they know that she's just having so many problems. They begrudgingly help, but they help nonetheless. Tap, excuse me, tickle my throat. But yes, all joking aside, the themes of facing your fears and relying on others for help, because you cannot do everything on your own. Sometimes you can, sometimes all it takes is one person, but other times you need help from others in order to accomplish something, whether good, bad, or indifferent. So as far as all that's concerned, that's pretty much the theme. As far as my overall thoughts, this is basically where I'm going to break down any technical bullshit, like, I don't know, writing structure, writing style, that's basically the same thing, but whatever. So there's only a couple things I had issues with this fanfic, and one of them was how people were, like, dialogue. People were very passive, so it wouldn't be blah 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 said Lucina. That was how it was, not blah 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 Lucina said. And I know this seems such a silly thing, but I find passive dialogue irks me, and your characters should always be active. You never want your characters to be passive. You want them to be as active as possible. Even little cameo characters, you want them to be active, because then the reader will notice them and will care and will want to care about what happens to them. Another thing I found was that there were a lot of times in stories where time would pass, which makes sense, but it would be written like 1 hour later or 2 hours later. And sure, some people might think that makes sense to add that, but it kind of annoyed me to the point where I just was like, okay, I know time passed, you don't have to tell me. You sometimes have to assume the reader is smart enough to know that time passed. You don't have to put in that this amount of time passed. To me, that just seemed silly. I might be wrong, I might just be nitpicking, but I just didn't care for that. Despite that, the one other thing was that I thought a couple paragraphs seemed to be unnecessarily broken up. They just seemed like two short paragraphs could have been combined into one large paragraph. Again, this is very technical, silly stuff, but it's just little things like that that can just get a reader to just go, the story's great, but it's not amazing, or it's good but not great. You know what I mean? But despite those little negative things, I thought that this story was very loyal to what Smash canon is, or lack thereof. There's a lot that's so-called canon in the Smash universe. So Smash King was really good at being loyal to whatever storylines were there, especially from Brawl, but it still made sense. And also, I liked that his voice, the author's voice, was in the fanfic a little bit, because it just added a little bit of personality, and it made me laugh out loud. It didn't feel annoying. It didn't persist too much. It wasn't there constantly. It was just there enough for me to notice it and for me to grin, even in a bad scene. So that's all I got for you today. This fanfic, it came from Lucina's head. It is not a bad fanfic. It is an amazing fanfic. It is just, I love it. I really, really love it. I cannot stress you enough. It is so worth any hype you've ever heard. If you have not read it, you are living under a rock. You might be reading under a rock because you're reading other shit that you shouldn't be reading. So this story overall gets the legit ElizabethWWEFan seal of approval, and 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 2 thumbs up, you name it, it freaking gets it, man. This story is just amazing, and I have to thank Smash for putting so much time and energy into such a masterpiece, because it really is worth it. So that's it for today, or for this week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every week. Don't forget to follow myself and Smash King24 on Twitter, on our personal website. Smash is on WordPress, I'm on Tumblr, and find the link fanfiction.net. Don't forget to check out our stories. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Have a great day and happy smashing.